Alrighty then, we are live here from Clay headquarters, from the Clay studio. Thanks for joining us, everybody. Appreciate you being here this morning, and as always, appreciate your time. Appreciate you and all that you do, and being a reader of the Spark, and being a listener of our podcasts. And if you're not yet one of those, fall into either of those two categories, you can become initiated into one of those two categories. And it's a very simple initiation process. You just go over to www.clay.inc, clay.inc, and from there you can listen to our podcasts. You can check out The Spark, which is our flagship newsletter, all about the headlines and creativity. And of course, you can watch our fledgling news channel, Clay TV, here, as you see before you, that I am currently on. And we are working towards and always a continuously streaming news channel. And, I've talked a little bit in the past about ideas about working to build this into something that we kickstart or we Patreon, things like that. And I'm still looking into options on those because I want to make this into really a CNN of creativity, a Bloomberg for creative professionals, something that delivers you the data, the information, all that you need to know about what the basically navigating this world in terms of being a creative professional, being somebody out there with skills to iron out, to sharpen. And so we also want to tell those stories of the creative process. Something I very much think would be a wonderful thing would be to both myself and any others that we are able to assemble into a team one day when I'm able to take this full time, is to begin to report and tell stories and go about and record different stories with people from all over about just the many interesting processes and things going on in this world that may not make it onto the other types of news services. And so it's kind of like right now what we function in is a lot of sort of meta media. We're delivering different news into a very particular channel, and that is with a creative focus, with an innovative focus. And so those sorts of things are all kind of channeled together. And I think that there's a great option that from there you build up and do much more original reporting, things like that. And in the YouTube age, I think there's just so many things that you can do with that too, especially when you look around. Chloe, or is it Cleo Abram? I think it's Cleo Abram. She used to be a Vox reporter, and now she does technology reporting. Wonderful material that she does there. And I think that people like her are a great model for building those sorts of independent news outlets, things like that are just a great way to communicate with people these days. And YouTube, of course, is where it's at, as we all know. And so building up from there, it's a wonderful thing. And so we are always looking to those sorts of things, to the future, to those opportunities, all the things that can be done and will be done in time. And so we're looking at that as well. And so, yeah, thanks for joining me, everybody. Appreciate you all being here with me this morning. Without further ado, I think we'll just jump right into the headlines. Tony Bennett passing away has been our major story today. And that is, really centered on a legend of music. And, one of the things that was highlighted in different obits that I was reading, of course, is just that he is a part of this long tradition of the Great American Songbook, this codification, canonization of American music in the early to mid 20th century. It's a great cultural milestone, a landmark, and Tony Bennett embodied that all the way throughout his life up to the end. Just a couple of years ago, he had really only then really come to the end of his career, performing with Lady Gaga and really in being involved in the scene, even after the scene had so drastically changed, the world was drastically changing, and he was still involved with it. And as this revered figure, he was still a participant, still an active creative contributor. And so that's an amazing thing. It's an amazing thing to see how somebody from across generations can be involved, helping to, just really put it all together. And during that time, I think it had to do with different interviews like 60 Minutes and things like that, that for him, as he faced Alzheimer's, he had a lot of course, just difficulty with memory. And the thing that always came together for him were the song lyrics. They came together, they came out. And that's an amazing, amazing thing when you think about it, because the way in which memory and music are tied together, in which you're able to piece together the lyrics from memory, and when they're embedded, they just become this string that you can pull out. And so it's a wonderful, wonderful thing that really speaks to like a testimony to his creative journey, to his creative life in music. And so just to read a little bit from what I wrote up this morning in the Spark, Bennett's journey began on New York's 52nd Street. He immersed himself in jazz clubs and drawing inspiration from Charlie Parker, Art Tatum, instrumentalists like that. He formed his own label, Improv Records, after leaving Columbia Records. And of course, his birth name being Antonio Dominic Benedetto in Long Island City. He, of course, Americanized that to Tony Bennett. And so he began as a singing waiter in Astoria, Long Island. His passion for music, deeply rooted in his family. His father's opera performances back in Italy inspired him. And so, having studied opera under the GI Bill, Bennett found his distinctive voice emulating the phrasing of instrumentalists. So he's emulating what people do with an instrument with his own voice, and that's just that sort of cross inspiration, cross pollination of ideas, of techniques is always a fascinating thing. And so let's see, okay, so we got the write up here. Bennett gifted the world with over 70 albums, claiming an impressive collection of 20 Grammy Awards, 2 Emmys, and a host of accolades. And of course, the authenticity of the man, the talent of the man, speak to a testament of a lifelong commitment to one's craft, to one's tradition, and to authenticity, and to just, letting the music speak for itself. So rest in peace, Tony Bennett. We do appreciate all that your work that you have done. And if you haven't signed up for the Spark yet, we want to encourage you to help get yourself inspired more and more, because that's what the Spark's here for. It's all about delivering inspiration to your inbox, and that's at www.clay.inc, clay.inc. And of course, we have recently announced that we are doing something new, and I myself will be on these calls with you, so if you should choose to take this mission, and that is the mission of creative coaching, because I want to basically get into the weeds of it, get into the pieces and parts of it, and to coach and to really help people get on the cutting edge of creativity, because there are just the body of scientific work, the body of research into creativity has ballooned, and it's a fascinating look into how we can hone our own potential in this area, and I want to help deliver that. So go to clay.inc and you'll be able to find more there about how to take advantage of our coaching services and a free consultation about how to get you on that creative edge. And so, other news we covering in this one, I try to be as optimistic about as much as possible, because I think that there's always room for optimism. But this one is about AI influencers and how artificially generated people are now the ultra perfect figures that we are seeing on the internet. And that's a hard one to spin optimistically. I think it's going to cause more problems with the social impact than anything else because, let's face it, like this doesn't really benefit anybody. Like they now people are renting out AI girlfriends. Like, no, no. I mean, maybe we want to put the dating apps out of business because they're evil. But I don't think this is the way, guys. This doesn't seem right. And so, meanwhile, SpaceX Falcon 9 is moving forward and partially reusable. You know, that's of course SpaceX's mission. And so the Falcon series has emerged as a trailblazer in this field. So we're continuing to watch that. Meanwhile, an astrophysicist is turning his gaze earthwards, and he is taking a look for farmers at their fields, basically. So he's creating something to help farmers through satellite imagery monitor their fields. And so that's a great opportunity there, something to watch as things progress. GitHub is rolling out Copilot Chat, which will be helpful for folks who want to learn more about coding and the like. And so it is a code completion tool, which is what Copilot's original form was. And so it's helping to simplify those complex tasks. And I forget exactly who had said it, but one of the minds in programming, I believe, recently said we're all coders now, thanks to the programming revolution caused by AI. And so that's always something to watch, and something that's going to change everything as that too becomes democratized, as the language barrier between normal speech and programming gets broken down. Thanks for joining me this morning, everybody. Appreciate your time. We got to sign off for now. Clayton has